It's 2022 and still a huge challenge for beginners on Amazon is getting ungated. In this video today, I'm going to share with you how to get ungated in 2022, so stay tuned. Right, if you don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Parkinson and I've been selling on Amazon now doing online arbitrage for the last 5 years. In the UK, I'm a 7-figure Amazon seller, check this out. And in the USA, I'm a 6-figure Amazon seller, check this out. Now, hopefully in the near future, I'm going to expand into another marketplace. And if you're interested in learning how I'm doing it, what I'm doing and what I'm learning, then do make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. But hey, enough about me. What are we going to talk about today? Well, first things first, number one, I'm going to talk about why should you think about getting ungated on Amazon. Number two, I'm going to talk about the different types of gating on Amazon. And then finally, number three, I'm going to actually talk about how to get ungated on Amazon. So let's get started. So first things first, number one, why should you think about getting ungated on Amazon? When starting to sell on Amazon using, should we say, any method, but for me, I use the online arbitrage model, many Amazon sellers are going to be struggling to find products which they can sell because they are gated. Now, I'm sure you already know because you're watching this video, Amazon is very strict in regards to what products and what categories and what brands can be sold on the Amazon platform, and they restrict these by gating. And this is quite simply to avoid people or sellers selling fakes or selling goods which they shouldn't be selling, and hence they have the gating process. Now, with this in mind, many categories or brands on Amazon are gated from new sellers, and this is for new sellers. They need to prove to Amazon that they are not only a capable seller, but they're also buying from a legitimate supply chain, and obviously they're not selling fakes. Now, I've been selling on Amazon for the past 5 years and recently expanded into USA, and we've been doing that now for 12 months. And in the USA, I've already made over $500,000 in sales. A big part of this is reaching, this achievement really was getting ungated in different categories and brands. Now, with being able to get ungated on different categories and brands on Amazon is a total game changer, for every Amazon seller and myself in particular. Why? Because it gives us a much wider span or a wider breadth of products and brands and categories that we can resell on Amazon, and hence we can increase our revenues and obviously profits. That's what we're here to do. And that's what's happened to me in the last 12 months of selling on Amazon in the USA. Now, this leads me nicely onto my second chapter. What are the different types of gating on Amazon? So the first one to talk about is a gated category. Now, most of the time there are going to be categories on Amazon which beginners are not able to sell in. And an example of this would be like toys and games. They just don't let people sell because these are particular categories where maybe there's a high chance of fakes. There's a lot of restrictions around them, or the very nature of the products. They just want to make sure that the good sellers or sellers on them have a reputation and they know what they're doing. So let me jump on the screen share now and just talk you through what this looks like. Okay, so here I am right now into Amazon Seller Central, and I just want to drop in an ASIN that I've already done. So if I paste that in there, fantastic. And we're just going to click search there. So voila, this is dairy milk. Now, what I want to do is you can see here it's got select conditions. I'm just going to click new, and you can see here it says apply to sell. And if I can see underneath it says show limitations, and if I show that down, what you are going to get, it says you need approval to list in the grocery category. So this product right now, in order to sell that, I need to be able to get approval to list in the grocery category. So it means this category is restricted for me as a seller when I'm trying to sell. So maybe it might be if I look at another product which is in the same category, I still won't be able to sell it because that whole category is, should we say, restricted, and I need approval to get selling in that. Now, the second type of restriction is called brand gated. Now, there are going to be specific brands on Amazon which are gated to new sellers. Now, this is the case whereby even if a seller, should we say, gets ungated in a category, like for example, in that grocery category, which the brand is in, but then I still won't be able to sell the brand itself. So you need to have ungated for that brand as well. Now, to show you what this looks like, let's jump back on the computer and I'll show you another example now. Okay, so I'm just going to come straight back into this same example now. Now, the one thing which I notice is you probably noticed it says you need approval to list in the grocery category, but also underneath it says you need approval to list this brand. So what does that mean? Well, it means not only do I need approval to list in the grocery category, I also need approval to sell this brand. So that's something really important to think about. And sometimes you're going to see it whereby you have two restrictions, i.e. category and the brand, or in some cases it might just be the brand or it might just be the category. So in this case, obviously it's both of them. So So you need to get ungated in both the brand and the category. Okay, so the third type of gating is basically product or ASIN gated. You have either generally category or brand, but sometimes you'll find that you'll be restricted, but it doesn't say category or brand, it just says you can't sell this. And it'll either say product or not available or like ASIN. Now, to give you an idea, these are products which are really high, like they're gonna have a lot of fakes, or the brand of really want to lock down. So there's not even a process to get ungated, and Amazon says, yep, sure, we'll just make sure that no one can sell it. Lucky enough I found an example now. Let's jump on the computer and have a look at this. So right here, I've just typed in, should we say, Amazon pencil. And the one thing you're gonna see straight away is it doesn't say like select option, it just says not available. And if I come to show limitations, what can I see? Well, here, well, it says not a problem. It says you are not approved to sell on this brand. We get that, not a problem. But it says this product has other listings limitations. So quite simply, I just cannot sell this product. They won't let me. I can click learn more, so we'll click on that. And it should kind of give me some information about like we are restricted. So selling restrictions prevent you from applying for approval. And it talks about here the best possible strategy. And you can see why here it talks about, while some of these products may require approval to sell, we may not be accepting applications to sell, such as, and they talk about the various reasons. So just be mindful, there are going to be another type of gating, which they're just products you cannot sell for various reasons, and hence you can see here. So be mindful of that. Okay, so today I'm talking about getting ungated. Now, the one thing which I'll say is getting ungated is a pain. It's a process you've got to go through. That takes time. And the one thing I'm sure you're probably wanting to do right now is to start building your business, getting products now, start buying low, reselling high for a profit. Well, let me introduce you to FastTrackFBA Leads. This is a service I created whereby we have a team of VAs in the USA and in the UK finding all the deals. Now, what do? We put them onto our web platform, and what else do? We also categorize the ones which are going to be ungated for new sellers. We know roughly what, deals are going to be ungated for new sellers, and you can come in and you can filter for those deals, which is going to be absolutely game-changing for new sellers. Now, quite simply, you come in, you buy tokens, you review all the deals that you want, maybe only looking for those ungated ones, and then when you're happy with the profit and the ROI, you unlock them using your tokens, the Amazon ASIN and supplier URL, and then you buy low, resell high on Amazon. Now, this can allow you to get your business off the ground today without having to worry about going through the whole ungating process, or whilst going through the ungating process. If you are interested, check it out. I'll drop a link down below, fasttrackfba.com/leads. Trust me, I think you'll love it. Right, this leads me nicely on to my third chapter, and that's how to get ungated on Amazon. Now, before I share with you how to actually get ungated on Amazon, let me share with you a quick reminder. It would be better to have, at least 1,000 in sales in your Amazon seller account before you start this process. This is just to let Amazon know that you are already selling on their platform and you've built up a little bit of history with them, because I've seen it whereby brand new sellers with zero sales history have used one of these two methods to try and get ungated, and Amazon have rejected them. Now, while Amazon don't specifically say, what we generally understand is that you have no trading history with Amazon. So even if you have the legitimate and correct documentation, it might still say no, because they have no evidence that you're actually a legitimate seller, i.e. you haven't built up a couple of sales history, reviews, and as a result, they can still reject your application, even if you have everything they ask for. Just be mindful of that. Get at least $1,000, £1,000 in sales before you start these processes. Now, there are two ways really to get ungated on Amazon, and I'll go through them now. The first, number one, is what's known as the manual method, and the second method is what's known as the automatic method. First thing first, number one is the manual method. Now, in this method, what you're going to need to do in the manual process to get ungated is to follow the following steps. Now, quite simply, you're going to need to find the product you're looking for. Let's say, for example, is our product, dairy milk, and in that is going to have a restriction. So you're going to need an invoice from a wholesaler, distributor, or manufacturer for this product. And on that invoice, you're going to need to have, is going to show you've got 10 units that you've purchased of this product that you're restricted in to sell. Now, that's really important because Amazon needs to see that you purchase or you are buying these products from a legitimate supply chain. Unfortunately, Walmart retail stores are not legitimate supply chain. Now, you don't need to be picky about finding a profitable product or anything like that. You just simply need to buy a product, which is, for example, Cadbury's, which has got the Cadbury's brand on it, from a wholesaler, manufacturer, or distributor, which can provide you with an invoice, which you can then provide to Amazon to show that you're buying it from them. Now, once you've done this once, you can then go out to Walmart and obviously buy from Walmart then, that's fine. Now, top tip for you is be sure that it has the product I'd really recommend. We're not looking for profitable products. It doesn't matter if you break even on it, but just make sure that the product has high demand so that you can buy those 10 units, ship them into Amazon, get them sold really quick, get your money back, and then go buy the profitable ones. Don't worry about buying profitable products. We're here to get ungated, not to make money. That's the important thing. Now, top tip for you, remember you have to buy 10 units of the product and it has to be seen on the invoice. Do make sure you've got that invoice and it shows at least 10 items. Okay, so here we are in the product catalog and I'm just going to paste in this ASIN that I've got already. So let's search for that. And you can see right here is this is the product itself. And if I click select condition new, what it's going to say here, apply to sell. So if I click on show limitation, it says I need approval to list this brand. Great. So let's click through now and click apply to sell. So let's click on that now. So that's just loading and says here you go, selling application. You need approval to sell the product, obviously the brand. And now let's click on request approval. And what it's going to do is go through to the approval process. So right here is where I need to submit documents. It says like one purchase invoice, and obviously I can put the details and then upload the document itself. So that's the process in regards to once I purchase the item with 10 products and I have the invoice from the supplier, I then need to upload it through there and then obviously wait and Amazon will get me ungated. Now, what I will say is always remember that there are going to be certain categories or brands on Amazon which are going to require documentation for you to get ungated, obviously, i.e. the invoice with 10 purchases. So what I would say is before you go out and buy those 10 products, just make sure to go through that same process and see what Amazon exactly says. Sometimes they might tweak it, or that maybe like in 2 months' time, Amazon might change it to, I don't know, 12. I don't think they will, but just make sure you actually read what Amazon says before you go out and buy those products. That's something really important. Now, the one thing I'll say to you is it does normally take Amazon anywhere between maybe up to 2 to 3 weeks to review your application for ungating. So just be mindful of that. And also though, if Amazon does not approve, do try resubmitting, resubmitting the cases. I've seen cases, and I've even had it myself, whereby I've resubmitted the same documents and then got ungated, which is a bit interesting. So you can try again, that's absolutely fine. And I've heard some really good stories about that as well. So just be mindful of that. And because it will be generally another Amazon representative reviewing your application. Now, the second method to talk about is what's known as the automatic ungating. And really, this is an automatic process that Amazon goes through. Now, there are going to be instances whereby you are going to go through exactly the same process we've just done, but instead of saying, please provide the document, it's just going to say, success, you are ungated. Now, when you apply to sell these products or categories on Amazon, this is going to highlight, and this can be a great way to get selling. So what I'd really recommend for you is always try to go through this process to start with before you go out and buy the products, because you never know, you might be able to get automatically ungated. And certainly in my Amazon USA business, this is what we found we had a lot of during our journey. Now, during, my journey selling on Amazon in 2021 and even in 2022, we've had experience where we've been ungated in lots and lots of categories. For example, in my USA business, we were making anywhere, I think it was about $5,000 in revenue, whereby we just started getting ungated in everything. Pretty much for you, you don't always have to do the manual process, i.e. the invoice. You can increase your revenue and then obviously use the automatic ungating. That might work as well. Just grow your revenue, that's a good one. Now, what I will say is using the correct invoice to get ungated in Amazon is super important. If you don't, it won't work, but obviously getting the right one, it will. And if you want to know more about invoices and what you need, then what I'll do is I'll leave a video around here on what is an invoice and how you can use it on Amazon. Check that out. Now, what I will say is hopefully you like this video. If you have, give me a thumbs up. And hey, if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button down below. But for myself, Thomas Parkinson and FastTrackFBA, thank you very much.